Schon gar nicht bei
Boom. 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 We're live, everybody. Hey, welcome to Red TV and Conversation. I'm Peter Clark. That's who I am. Good to see you. Good to see you. If you are here joining me right now, thank you. Appreciate that. I really appreciate that. It's always awesome to have great people with me. And if you are watching live, hey, put some comments in there. Let me know that where you're watching from, where you're joining from, all these kinds of fun things. Hey, really different show today. This is a different show. So it's going to be a little bit of fun. We have some technical stuff going on. It's the internet of the world. We're at the mercy of the internet. That's how it works around here. We're at the mercy of the internet. But we want to connect the world. That's the whole point. And we want to connect in real time as much as we can. And right now we might have to use old-fashioned technology like telephones and mobile services, things like that. We might. Let's see what's going on here. But right across there is Jim Lippens, founder of Happiness at Work Conference, which happened today. I mean, as we record this right now, it's the end of day in Belgium right now. And so June 28th, 2022, they had the conference, Happiness at Work Conference, and just an amazing gathering of people from around the world. And I wanted to at least try to capture a little bit of that excitement and a little bit of flavor of what happened there today and so on. So again, thank you for being here. If you've been here before, thank you. Appreciate you tuning in. All I ask right now, really, if you like and hear Red TV, you like it, share it, please. Share with your network. Invite people to come and watch the shows. We try to amplify good stories and connect people using this technology, lifting all the boats, as we like to say, and being kind out there. That's what we're doing. So thank you for tuning in and so on. So Jim Lippens is the founder of this conference. We're talking about Happiness at Work Conference, and we're trying to get him. I'm trying to get him hooked up, but hooked up in the sense of coming into the live stream. But we do have him on the telephone, which is a good secondary backup, and we're going to get Jim to come on here and so on. Lots of things going on in the world in general, and this is why it's so fun to connect with people around the world. And it's also connecting this idea of happiness and people going back to work. Things have changed over the last couple of years. So as people return to full-time employment at their work and so on, or working remotely, lots of things have changed. So I think this is why this is a great conversation to talk about what's happening in that world of why it's important to try to find as much happiness and wellness that we can at work. So that's what we're going to do. Let me just see if I can get Jim actually on the line here. This is going to be a lot of fun. Let's just try this out here and see. Let's see if Jim's on the call. So I'm going to reach out to Jim. Jim, can you hear me?
I'm here.
There you are. How are you? We're live on the show. Good to see you. Well, good to hear from you.
Yeah, but now you have to change your name from Red TV to Red Radio.
Red Radio. Hey, international. Yeah. You are so right. You're so right. Hey, listen, we'll do whatever we have to. Listen, I want to make sure I connected with you today because, first of all, congratulations on this event. I just know from our past conversations how hard and difficult it has been to get this thing back on track since the last 2 years, where the pandemic has shut down travel and gathering and all these kinds of things. So it's been very, very difficult for you. So I just want to start by saying congratulations on an amazing event today. I'm assuming it was amazing. Yes.
Yeah. For me, it was amazing. But let's listen to some attendees. So I have two attendees next to me from UK. So maybe you just
okay. Hold on a second. Before you start directing the show, I appreciate that. Before you start directing the show, yes, I will definitely talk to attendees, but I definitely won't. But you're not getting out of this that easy, my friend. We're tuning in because I want to celebrate with you. So just hold the phone for a second. You hold the phone for a second.
Yeah, no problem. I was having my first beer, so
that's right. I know it's the end of the night. I know it's end of night over there. So I know I don't want to keep you from celebrating. I don't want to keep you from celebrating. But let's walk us through it a little bit. You're live right now. You're in Antwerp right now. You're at the Queen Elizabeth Hall in Antwerp. I'm guessing that's where you're still located right now, backstage, that kind of thing. Tell us about, just give us your first feelings of the day. How did everything play out for you?
Yeah, for me it was like amazing to see the enthusiasm of the audience. So normally Belgian people, like for sure in the morning, they are really difficult to have them lift their ass in the morning. And Gina did a fantastic job. Like the moment that she started trying to get them moving, they immediately reacted. So that was for me the first sign. Like, okay, this is nice. This audience has the right vibe, and they kept going.
Awesome. You're now referring to, I'll put up Gina's name here. Like, I want to make sure that we have it here. She was responsible for the music direction today and incorporating music into the whole theme here. And again, I think if I'm not mistaken, it's referred to as a technique called it's conscious. Conscious music code. Is that correct?
Yes. Yeah. For me, the most important thing is like, she's from India. She has this dream, like now for 12 years, to perform on stage in a big event,
right?
And to do like what she wants to do, and so she likes to integrate music, smells, light, visuals,
right?
Everything together. And when I met her like 1 year ago on LinkedIn, she started talking about this is my dream. And for me the biggest joy comes from seeing people blossom. And when I could give her like this chance to be on stage and to realize her dream, so she did it.
Oh, that's fantastic. And I'm glad, again, music is such a big part of that event as well. I mean, it's just, like you said, it sets the tone. It talks about this whole idea of personal growth and well-being. And this is what this conference is about. Just so that we're clear here. I mean, you had a wide variety of people from around the world attend this. This is not specifically, even though the theme is about happiness at work, it covers a lot of different subject matters here. Walk us through a few of the people that spoke and the impact. I know Claude was there, Ricardo Semler was there, Iris Hahn was there, and so on. How did all those sort of themes play out throughout the day? Pick a few highlights for me. Yeah,
it started. In fact, it started yesterday. Then, so Ricardo was flying from LA to UK, and yesterday in the afternoon he called us to say that he had COVID.
Oh.
So,
right.
So yesterday we had to convince the technical guys, like, okay, can you arrange like a live call from his hotel room, because he had to do like a PCR test because before he could take a flight to Brussels, and that PCR test was positive, so he had to stay in his hotel room. So he did the keynote live from his hotel room.
Oh, well, but this is the whole point of technology, right? Is being able to make sure that we do like we're doing it now. I mean, let's face it, it'd be preferable. I would love to see what it was like backstage. I would love to see, the behind the scenes where you are right now. But again, you had to pull that off. Talk about, some of the other things that were going on. You said you had, Claude, so like I've had Claude on my show, so I love Claude. You already know I have a crush on Claude. So
she's still here. So if you want her to be in the show, I could find her.
Yeah, listen, you go find them and interrupt that. Yes, interrupt that beer if you have to.
Yeah, for me, like the first one who was on my list was Iris Hunt. So Iris Hunt is a pianist, and she's like, I was in a concert with her like 2 years ago in full COVID period, and I told her like it was like really an intimate concert, like with 25 people. And I told her, like, for me, you're the most vulnerable artist in Belgium and Holland. Now, she was like really like insecure. She told it also on stage, like, I'm really insecure what to tell you. She touched the heart. She got like a standing ovation from the audience. For me, she was like the highlight of the day, like so pure, so
wow.
It's just all about heart. Yeah.
Really? Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah. Oh, I love hearing that. I love the fact that you're saying that someone had this really vulnerable, open spirit moment that was shared by everybody. I appreciate. Hey, I just want to give you a shout out because you can't see the screen right now if you're not watching it on your computer, because of course you're on your phone. Danielle Hellebrand is actually listening, and she said it was all about connection, being kind. And talking with you and she's walking with each other home. That's what she's doing now. Everyone, we're just walking and talking, and she said she had an amazing time there. So it sounds like again you're getting great reviews already. So it sounds like it was well worth the wait. I'm gonna say that it was. Let me ask you about the conference itself. Let's just touch base real quick. It's an annual event. People can still dig into learning more about it because of course 2023. Time flies. We know it's going to be coming up. Why would people want to come to this event? Why just in your it's fresh on, you're still there in the moment right now. Let's encourage some people to talk. Let's encourage people to look into this conference. Why would someone want to attend this conference for next year?
Is it a good idea to hand over this question to one of the attendees?
Well, you can't wait to get off the phone and drink some beer. I mean, that's all I hear.
No, but, for me, it's easy to say like why, but maybe I think it's more like an honest reaction when I give you Isabel on the phone.
I know you. Okay, you got a point there. And Danielle says she had a great chat with Claude Silver. So. And I can imagine that Asha was taken a little bit. Was she? Was Asha taken a little bit with meeting Claude for the first time?
Yeah. And really, it was so nice to meet Claude. And we are fully on one line. And they will open an office in Amsterdam, so I'm sure we will meet more. And we have things they don't have, and they have things we don't have. So. Like, and in the world of cookery, you find each other.
Yeah, no, I mean this is the whole point. I mean, there's a much different feel. I know that having virtual events is still again effective in some ways, but there's nothing like getting together. Obviously, there's nothing like seeing each other, sharing each other's space and all those kinds of things. Okay, I know that you want to go and drink your beer, but I don't want you to go too.
No. I don't want to go, but
I know you want other people to give us a. So why don't you do two things for me here? How about and I'm trying to do some stage directing from on the other side of the world here. Why don't you see if you can go find Claude, and in the meantime, you put me on to one of your attendees, and we'll ask them that very question of why they found.
Sure. I will see if I can find her, and then you can ask her, and then I'll be back in some minutes.
Who are you going to put on right now?
It's Isabel, Peter. And
Isabel, how are you?
I'm very well. The segue of stage direction is a good one because I'm an actress. I'm fun the stage direction.
Yes, you sound very shy. So as soon as you come out of your shell, you're going to be unbelievable. So I can hear the shyness in your voice. So Isabel and Pollen, Pollen, is that right? Pollen?
Correct. Yes.
Okay, I took there's another big guess. And tell us why you're there. So you attended, and you're at the end of the day. Give us an insight of what happened for the last 24 hours for you.
So I'm here because I'm a performer, said, but I'm also now a performance coach. So about 13 years ago, I wanted to segue into another line of work. As you know, actors have times out of work, significant times out of work. So I didn't want to be doing those in between jobs anymore. I wanted to be doing, much as I have great respect for those in between jobs, by the way, but I wanted to have an opportunity to give back some of the skill set that I had inherently. And everybody here today, Peter, I would say, is aligned in one way, which is an intrinsic curiosity about how human beings work. And so the powerful thing for me was to be in a room all day with a lot of Belgian people, but a mix of cultures, and the central focus being a curiosity about what is it that happiness actually means.
Right.
And I'll be honest with you, I have a bit of an allergic reaction to the word happiness because I find it generic most of the time. And I'm British, so that doesn't help. But there's something about the way that happiness was broken down today into very specific experiences of extraordinary people, 𝘂𝗺𝗏 being one of them, and I'm a huge fan of her as well.
Yeah.
And getting very, very focused, the lens getting very, very focused on what do we actually mean when we talk about happiness? What does it actually look like in practice? So that's what I was wowed by today.
Wow. Okay. So that's beautiful that you led me. You're leading me in a beautiful direction, because you're absolutely right. Well, I'm going to tend to agree with you. I shouldn't say you're right. I'm going to say I agree with you that, the word happiness is quite generic, and I don't mean that in a negative way. It's just one of those words, and it's certainly being used more than ever over the last, let's just say, at least a few years anyway, the last few years. So what does it mean to you then? I mean, when you said I have a reaction to that word, what does the word happiness mean to you then? That'd be interesting for me to understand.
Okay, so a micro experience of me as a human being. I'm the eldest of 7 children, which in England is an unusual thing. And my experience of the word happiness is family. My experience of the word happiness is belonging and being part of something. And so today I was given the opportunity to belong. I was given the opportunity to feel a part of something that myself and the colleague that I'm here with, 𝘂𝗶𝘁𝗵, who's done extensive research around this work as well, feel so excited about, because Jim and I connected on LinkedIn, and instantly I felt this wave. It's it's partly, as you say, to do with post-COVID, but it's also to do with this childlike, not childish, but a childlike curiosity about what is it that makes us happy. And finding a way to practice that, and finding a tangible way to practice that for people out there who don't really know this language. And as an actress, I've always been doing what I love. So I've been in rooms, I've been in spaces with people that are practicing their passion. And that's a massive privilege. And I've traveled the world doing it. So I feel very lucky. Most people don't get that.
Very
privilege.
true. So, that is very true. To find something that you love to do and consider that you're drawing happiness from it and so on. Yeah, that is truly a blessing. Let me ask you this question.
But the relevance to your question is that I'm incredibly grateful to Jim Lippens for creating a day where people have this common ground of, I want to understand what happiness actually means, looks like, and feels. And that's what today has achieved. It's been absolutely phenomenal.
That is fantastic. And again, I want to stay with the theme, just because obviously it's in the name of the conference, Happiness at Work conference. I love what you said about belonging, by the way. That is a powerful word for me these days as well. So that's another show and conversation altogether. Let me ask you, did you walk away feeling that people can find happiness at work? Is that sort of what ended up sort of as being the theme, that you walk away with this feeling that you can actually find some joy and happiness, through the kind of work that you do and maybe the people that you surround yourself with? Is that what you walked away with?
What I walked away with, because I've already said to you that in my work, I'm in a very privileged situation, and that I've practiced what I've loved for 25 years. But what I've walked away with from today is that it is possible through very, very simple shifts for everybody to connect with the humans that they work with. That's what I've walked away with.
Right. That's a great message right there, that you again get reconnected or connect a little at a different level, maybe a little deeper.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, let me be a little bit more specific
Sure.
and scientific about it. What I mean is that we have to be comfortable with discomfort. We have to understand what it is to be uncomfortable. A lot of us are uncomfortable for a myriad of reasons. And in my experience of coaching, people will avoid that discomfort. But actually, the consequences of avoiding the discomfort are much, much more catabolic than finding a way to just be human. That's what today has done. It's really amplified the ability and the potential that we all have to connect as humans. And listen, I'm always going to be there in a heartbeat if that's being offered, and Jim's done that. So.
Wow, that's a beautiful message. I appreciate you sharing that. Any as an actress, of course, or as a person that has been on stage or in front of cameras, all that kind of stuff, you can probably relate to all of the people today who had to get up and basically stand in front of a large group again and present and perform and all these kinds of things. Any particular ones that stood out for you? And it doesn't mean anyone's better than the other. I'm just referring anything that resonated directly and spoke directly to you. Can you think of anyone specifically, or any music being a theme? All kinds of different opportunities there to connect with someone. Anyone jump out at you?
It's a great question. All of that connected me for different reasons. I have to say that Iona was extraordinary in her ability to use her profound talent to give back. I found that profoundly moving, that she has, through extraordinary experience, recognized what she has from a very young age and been through incredible trauma. For me, the conflict, so I'm a storyteller addict, and any great story has conflict.
Yes.
And so the tension between somebody with this immense talent that's been through this extraordinary trauma to come out of that and to give her talent in the way she does, I thought that was phenomenal. And the moment that she was vulnerable, as Jim said, the moment on stage where she steps out of being in control, which is what everybody assumes you are as a performer, the moment that she broke that control and said, I'm actually very nervous to our audience, and actually became that person, was phenomenal, and I felt immense privilege to be there in that moment. So that was the moment that stuck up for me. Yeah.
Oh, that's beautiful. Yeah. Let's I know you're a big fan of Jim and the conference, so let's do a plug for him right now for next year. Why would you recommend anybody anywhere in the world considering joining the Happiness at Work conference for next time? What advice would you give them about attending this event?
Come with the desire to be with other humans in a space where you are safe, and you have a very, very simple agenda, which is to show up and to connect. And it's incredible that when you make that decision to show up in that way, the people that you meet and the opportunities that you are given moment to moment. Look, Peter, I mean, this moment now is an example of that, right? I didn't expect to be talking to you. Jim invited me in the moment to do this, and I feel very honored to do it. So this is a great example right now of what can happen when you show up. So book your ticket. Come. It's a beautiful place. It's a beautiful city. I'm surrounded by green and extraordinary animals here because we're in the zoo of Antwerp. The building backs onto the zoo of Antwerp. So
right.
What's not to love? What's not to love?
I'm telling you, I'm so jealous because I've looked it up so many times. I was planning a trip there for this particular conference. Long story short, obviously I'm not there, but I know exactly what you're referring to. I'm actually going to show, as we're talking in a minute here, I'm going to show from Google Earth exactly the beautiful facility you're talking about. That square is right there where the center is itself. The main train station is there. It's backing onto the zoo.
Exactly.
It's just right. It's just gorgeous. It's,
I'm looking at it now. It's mind blowing.
Oh,
I feel like I'm on.
That's why we got to get this camera working. We have to get this,
Right.
Isabel. We got to get this camera working to show people.
Yeah.
So who else is there? Someone and listen, I can sit and chat with you all day. This is really fun. Is there anyone else right there that Jim was referring to? He said there's a few people there that. Is there anyone else there that wanted to share a little bit about their experience with us? I'd be more than happy to chat with them if they wanted to share their thoughts.
Great, thank you. Yes, there's my wonderful colleague Claire and friend 𝗟𝗶𝘁𝗵. I'll pass you to her. Peter, it's been a real pleasure. Thank you so much.
A pleasure chatting with you and meeting you for the first time.
And maybe Peter Claude is in an interview right now. Otherwise, I would have her.
Okay, Claude. So, well, hey, as soon as I'll hang around. We'll hang around as long as we can. Hey, we'll hang around as long as we can.
Yeah, if it shows up in the first minute, or if I can catch Tal also, then
please, and again, if anyone wants, it's not a video call, so it's pretty straightforward for them just to jump on the call if it's not too much.
I will ask him if he wants to come here.
I would appreciate that. That would be awesome, Jim. In the meantime, hey, is there somebody else you wanted me to chat with? Because we're there live, so let's take advantage of chatting with some people.
I'm here, Peter. I'm 𝗟𝗶𝘁𝗵 from London, England, along with Isabel, and we've experienced an amazing day. So I'm happy to share a few insights with you.
Oh, please do. So it's Claire. Is it 𝐶𝗵𝗆? Yes.
Claire, 𝗟𝗶𝘁𝗆. Yes. Dale, 𝑑ale. Yeah.
Beautiful. From London as well. From London, UK. Yeah.
Yeah, from London, UK. Yeah.
Got it. Beautiful. So what brings you over there? And tell us a little bit about your experience today. Tell me why it was feeling magical for you.
Well, we came specifically to hear Claude Silver speak, and she speaks from the heart, but with such weight. She's I guess she's not masked in any way, and she's not trying to perform in any way when she speaks. She's very natural, and that's really connecting. And so when she speaks about building an organization where people work, she's brought into the organization, and the way that she connects with people and goes out of her way to be the Chief Heart Officer is a very inspiring story. And I think we need more Chief Heart Officers all over the world. And then there's also who followed her was 𝗟𝗶𝘁𝗵, and he is just an incredible scientist, and he's just at the table actually, and now his eyes are glinting because I'm speaking about him positively. But I mean, I've been following his work for a while, and of course he's scienced the hell out of happiness, really.
I love it.
And I was particularly, inspired when, he lands on this very core idea that if as human beings we allow stress to take us over and we don't have enough recovery, it's not about pressure and stress being bad for us. It's about how we recover from that and the skillful way that we live life. It's like having a superior system for living. And so I really, really enjoyed listening to him speak as well. And he was the final speaker of the day, and very, very inspiring.
Fantastic. I love what you said there. Science the hell out of happiness. That's beautiful. I mean, I love to hear the science behind that. What would you say to somebody about your experience? I mean, you've been there now. I know you went specifically. You said you went to see Claude, which is fantastic. I'm sure she really appreciate hearing that. Why would someone want to attend this in the future? How about yourself? What recommendation would you talk about for the next event?
Well, I think if you're interested in the human condition, either from a philosophical perspective or a scientific perspective, you're going to want to explore the word happiness, because it's so easy to say but so hard to do. So I think that the word happiness can be treated very superficially, the result of, as Carl was saying, buying a new pair of shoes. But actually, we really realize finally that happiness is a sustained style of living, a way of dealing with the human being, the psychology, the emotions, and the physicality. And I think that's where Carl and I meet as well, and we hope to have a longer conversation about that. It's really being a whole human and knowing about what creates happiness rather than leaving it to chance and hoping that a pair of shoes will do the business.
Wow, that is super well said. I appreciate you sharing that.
I was going to say, Peter, Carl's right here.
Well, feel free to, hey, listen, I could chat with you all day too. I mean, this has been great.
Well, this is convenient. I mean, this is we're all sat around here with various cigarettes and wine.
I'm an actress. I'm always available.
So Isabel's still here. And here is Tal. Very happy to hand you over.
Appreciate that.
Peter.
Hello, Tal. How are you?
Yeah, happy. Thank you. How are you?
I'm happy now. I'm happy I got a hold of Jim, and happy that this conference was a success, and happy that you had an opportunity to participate. It's a pleasure to speak with you, my friend. I follow your work, and I follow you on LinkedIn and these kinds of things, and I know of your work and body of work, and I know that you travel a lot, and it's hard to get you for a few minutes. So I appreciate your time right now. Tell us about your experience there today. Tell us about the people, the connections. How did it all play out for you today?
So it was a very special experience because you have 1,000 people who are committed to bringing happiness to work. Now, why is that so important? Well, it's important for various reasons. One reason is that it feels good to feel good, and we want to be happier. We want the people we care about to be happier. So happiness is an end in itself. At the same time, it's also a means towards other ends. Meaning, if you increase levels of happiness, you increase creativity, levels of innovation, activity in the workplace goes up. Grades in school improve. Violence levels are decreased. Teamwork, relationships in general improve. Health benefits. So there are so many benefits, side effects, so to speak, of increasing levels of happiness. And that's why it's so important that such a get-together takes place, because what the people got here today was the science of happiness. They got evidence-based tools, techniques, interventions that they can apply in their homes and in the workplace. And again, it's important because we want people, we want ourselves, our loved ones to be happier, and because of all the positive side effects of happiness, such as creativity, productivity, performance, and so on.
Wow. See, there's so much to unpack in there. So thank you for sharing all of that. I just heard a comment from an attendee who said that Tal scienced the shit or the hell out of this, out of happiness. So tell me what that person meant by that. What kind of things, thematic wise, were you covering that you felt was important from the science perspective? What was that, the essence of your talk that allowed people to walk away with this idea of the scientific nature of happiness?
Yeah, so, I make a very clear distinction between, the self-help or the New Age movement and, rigorous academic research. Because, there are so many ideas thrown out there about how to become happier, how to become more successful, how to improve your organization or relationship, but there isn't that much or enough out there on the science behind it, because there is a great deal of research being done literally as we speak that can help us, that can provide us the tools, the know-how in terms of increasing levels of well-being. And I emphasize that, and I think that coaches or managers or therapists or teachers or parents, for that matter, need to study this science again, because happiness is so important. It is so critical for the human condition. So the kind of research that I talk about, for example, is the importance of physical exercise and what that does to our brain, what it does to a child's brain. So during COVID, we have 3 teenagers at home. And during COVID, They were on Zoom. They didn't go to school. During those 2 years, I never once asked them how they're doing academically. If they wanted to show me the report card, they did. If there was a problem, the teacher called. But every day, I would make sure that they got their exercise fix,
Right.
because I know what it does to the teenager's brain. We also know in the workplace what regular physical exercise does to employees in terms of their performance, in terms of teamwork. We also know what it does to the elderly brain in terms of prevention. You reduce the likelihood of dementia and Alzheimer by 52% if you exercise regularly as you age. So this is one example of science. Another example of evidence that I shared was the importance of giving and generosity and kindness. These are all not only elevating our organization, making it a better place to work, but also improving our own life. So to give is to receive. The number one predictor of effective leadership, especially during difficult times, such as the times we're going through now as a society, number one predictor of great leadership is not charisma. It's not eloquence. It's not IQ. It's not strategic thinking or how visionary you are as a leader. Number one predictor is the ability to listen, to be present to your employees. And not enough managers and leaders understand that. But when you look at the numbers, it's very clear what you as a manager need to work on. Now, I'm not against charisma or eloquence or IQ, as long as we don't forget the real important things, such as being present to our employees, listening. And by the way, I say employees, it applies as much to our kids, to our partners.
Right. Even though this was referred to as super well said, appreciate everything you just unpacked there. Happiness at Work conference. Yeah, I mean, even though we're in the name, we are referring to this, this idea of how to communicate and connect with people at your work. You're absolutely right. I mean, it plays a role. It's life. It's advice for life. It's not even just only about work as we're talking about it here. One of the things, Tal, why I have you here, and I so appreciate this opportunity. You focus on this connection between the heart and mind, and I know that that's a big part of your languaging and part of your work and so on. And you wouldn't know this about me, but I had a heart incident about 6 months ago, and basically, it's every day since December has been a gift for me. So I'm very blessed to be here at all. And, I've openly admitted it to a few people that I feel that there's a strong connection with what happened to me, was the connection between what was going on in my mind and how it affected my heart physically, not just mentally, but physically, the mental, whether it's stress, anxiety, whatever you want to refer to it as. I'm wondering if you could just speak to that for a second, if that's part of some of the conversation there as well, as that connection point between the heart and the mind.
Yes, absolutely. So, in the West, we mostly think about these elements as disconnected. We have the dualistic mindset, mind and body, emotions and reason are distinct, when in fact they're not, and they affect one another. So our thoughts affect how our heart functions. Our heart functions affect our thoughts. And when we strive to bring about change in ourselves, in others, we need to look at the whole person. We need to look at their feelings, because they matter a great deal, and they matter in a business as well. We need to look at what they're thinking, because that's important too. And we also need to look at their action, at their behaviors, because their behaviors affect their thoughts and affect their emotions. In other words, we need to look at the whole system. And the system is mind, heart, body, its reason, its emotions, its behaviors.
Wow. Oh my gosh. I mean, okay. Again, the connection that you're just talking about, the wholeness of the person, the whole, and were you referencing the idea that that leaders within organizations have to really, it's mandatory almost now to be an effective leader? Is you talked about listening. is it fair to expect them to have this sort of deep knowledge that you're referring to? And when I say fair, I'm just referring to the idea that we have a lot of expectations now from our leaders, and I would imagine globally we're not happy with that. But generally speaking, that's a lot of connection point for them to understand. Is that something that we need to manage, our expectations of how people can lead with that sort of knowledge base?
Yeah, that's a very important question, because it's really a question about how practical is this. Are we demanding too much of manager, or asking too much of them? And the answer is that, first of all, yes, it is important. It's no longer a luxury; it's a necessity for managers, for leaders, to look at the, so to speak, soft skills. At the same time, it's also very important to talk about the following, which is that small changes make a big difference when consistently applied. So we don't have to now, take every manager through a year-long or a 10-year-long process so that they become, so to speak, enlightened leaders. Not at all. What we need to do is to introduce them to some of the basic science that exists in this area, and then have them practice it consistently. Small changes bring about significant impact when consistently applied. So I'll give you two examples in terms of what I spoke about today. So one thing I talked about, exercise. Let's say the boss begins to exercise regularly, or encourages employees to exercise regularly. They will benefit a great deal. The organization will benefit a great deal, even if they do nothing else but that. Another example, if you introduce 30 seconds of deep breathing every few hours during the day, during those 30 seconds, you're shifting from the fight or flight stress response to what Herbert Benson from Harvard Medical School calls the relaxation response. If you do that consistently day in and out, that will change the climate, the culture, in fact, of your organization, just through these 30 seconds consistently applied. If you just do that, that will have significant impact on your organization. Another example, you run a campaign within your organization, be kind to one another. We talk about customer support. Of course, that's important. Be kind to your customers. Be kind to one another in the workplace. Just raising awareness about kindness, that in and of itself, consistently applied, can make a big difference, can shift the needle in terms of employees' performance and satisfaction. People are actually less likely to leave the workplace if it is a kind organization. So these are some small examples that are standalones that in and of themselves will make a difference. Now, if you do all three, and then 20 other things that you learn about, where behind which there is the science, you can really make a big difference in your organization and beyond.
Yeah, see, listen, you said a few things, so many things in there. Thank you for sharing that. One of the things that just jumped out at me as you're describing this idea of being kind and simply allowing to do some really small exercises, little things, breathing, meditation, these kinds of things. So the idea of leaders feeling that to lead with empathy and compassion and build a work environment where people feel safe and happy, and there's like you said, a culture of kindness and so on. They don't really have to do a whole bunch to start, right? They just can literally just hold that space for people and allow them to bring their whole selves to work, and allow it to kind of breathe from there. Would that be a fair way of looking at it?
Yes, exactly right. And as I said, the key is to do it over time, and if you implement these simple, basic ideas, take into consideration the whole person, not just that part of the person that knows how to make money or how to solve a business problem. If you're able to bring the whole person in, then you will, the return on your investment will be major.
Amazing. I have to give you a comment here from somebody here in Canada. a person here in Calgary, Alberta, Karen Judge, and she said in the comments here she can't wait to. She's going to show some of the conference tomorrow here in Canada. She said I nearly fell off my chair hearing Tel talk about anti-fragility or anti-fragile. I missed it. I haven't seen the live yet. I'm gonna get the replay. Please share a couple one-liners about anti-fragile, anti-fragility, if you don't mind.
Sure. So anti-fragility is a concept that was introduced by Nassim Taleb, originally from Lebanon, now teaching at New York University. And anti-fragility is essentially resilience 2.0. So resilience 1.0 is bouncing back from hardship. Resilience 2.0, anti-fragility, is bouncing back higher as a result of hardship. So it's going through difficulties and challenges or even a trauma and growing as a result of it. Now, the interesting thing is that we can put certain conditions in place as individuals, as an organization, that will significantly increase the likelihood of becoming anti-fragile. For example, things like embracing our emotions, or things like taking time for recovery, or finding meaning and purpose in what we're doing, or being givers, being kind, actually contributes to our anti-fragility, to us not just being resilient, but being resilient 2.0, which means growing from hardship.
Growing from it. So I understand what you're referring to on there, because I think, like you said, this idea that we're pretty pleased, and we should be, by the way, when we go through something very difficult and challenging, we come out on the other side, and we have that resilience, that feeling of I survived that, and now I'm thriving that. But anti-fragility is now going to the next step, and I'm trying to figure out what that one little piece of that. What's that extra 1% that's moving it from 1.0 to 2.0? What can you clarify that for me? I'm sorry.
Of course. So, people who are givers, who are kind, who are generous, who listen, they tend to fall on the side of anti-fragility. In other words, to grow rather than to break down. People who find meaning and purpose in what they do, it doesn't have to be, the grand meaning of life. It can even be, I find meaning in my contribution to a person or a community. People who find a sense of meaning and purpose in what they do tend to be more anti-fragile. In other words, to go through hardship and grow from it. Even physical exercise that I mentioned earlier can contribute a great deal to anti-fragility. Why? Because we know that physical toughness directly translates to mental toughness. There are two sides of this coin. Why? Because mind and body are connected. We're one system.
Right. Yes. I know. I appreciate you clarifying that, because I think it's a beautiful. I've heard this word before. I think there's books. There's a book written on it that I think my beautiful spouse brought home, and it's just this idea of taking it to the next step where you actually thrive from it. Is something is not part of a normal conversation. Resilience is normally used, but anti-fragile is not there. Let me ask you this, Tal, my fine friend. What's coming up on your plate in the near future here that we need to tell the world? What's on your plate? What's coming up next? Something that we should look for, and when we're searching your name out there.
Yes. So, I co-founded 5 years ago the Happiness Studies Academy, where we offer certificate programs in happiness studies, helping those the individuals who take it help themselves and help others become happier with all the benefits thereof. But what's exciting for me now is that we're launching a world's first master's degree, happiness studies. And it's a fully accredited, fully online master's degree, which we're offering with Centenary University, which is located in New Jersey. And it's launching this fall. So this is what's keeping me up in a good way.
This is exciting stuff. This accreditation, if you will, is it specifically recommended for who would you say? Is that in the HR world? Is it management, or is it just really across the board? Could it be entrepreneurs? Could it be anybody?
Yeah. So when we look at the profile of students in our certificate program, what we see is we have students and coaches and entrepreneurs and managers and parents who want to raise a happier family, and doctors who implement these ideas in their hospitals or clinics. So we quite literally have the whole gamut. Why? Because everywhere where you introduce happiness, you find more productivity or creativity or generosity or better relationships and teamwork. So the benefit is relevant for any and all professions.
Got it. Wow, that's fantastic. Now, for the Happiness Studies Academy, we're referring to, there's an extension to that. What's the best way to reach that? Is that directly through your personal website? Is there a business website for? I'll look it up and make sure we put it into this conversation.
So it's on my site, 𝗟𝗶𝘃𝗲𝗿, as well as happinessstudies.academy.
happinessstudies.academy. Fair enough. I'll make sure that we get those notes out to anyone that's interested in following up with you on that. My fine friend, it's been a pleasure. I know you've been talking all day. I don't, I could sit and chat with you all day. Hey, I'm just going to put it out there to the airwaves right now. If I reach out to you, I hope we can do this again. I hope we can jump on and get you on. We have a full-blown conversation of everything that has to do with Happiness Studies Academy and all of the work that you're doing.
That will make me very happy, Peter. Thank you.
Thank you, Tal. I appreciate that.
Your other good friend is here.
My other good friend?
Yes, Claude.
Are you kidding me?
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding? Asha's here too. Isn't that great?
Claude Silver, how are you? Do you know how much I miss you right now?
I know, I miss you too. We're bound to talk, but you just got to talk to Tal, which is like the best thing ever.
Wow. Okay, but if you say so, but I had a chance. I'm talking to you now, so you're top of the list for sure. Trust me on that. No, he's a beautiful human being. Is that your first interaction with Tal when it comes to a speaking opportunity? Yes. It is, eh?
Oh yeah, I've been following him forever. I mean, he's a father of so much. So it's just been an honor to spend time with him and see him speak, and then of course be with all these incredible people. Like this is a place for you to be.
Oh,
next year.
Next year. Yeah, but you won't be there next year. Now I got to figure out how to get to New York and do all that. So I should have just all done it at one time. But hey, as I said to you, as I told you before in other conversations, haven't been to New York yet in my life. Can you imagine that? So when I go, I need to make sure you're there, and I need to know somebody who knows where to get a good rosé, and we can just have a conversation.
I got your number.
You sure do. Hey, so what give me the highlights. Give me your highlights. I know the travel is fun. I saw that I was watching some of your Instagram. I know that you have like I said, everyone needs a wing person, as you said, a wingman. So that was funny. Tell me the highlights from today. Tal obviously being one of them, but give me some of the punchlines of today for yourself. Okay,
Gina's music, like Gina's beats were incredible.
Awesome.
Her trance, techno, whatever it was. She did the beats before every keynote came on, and there were senses, smells, perfumeries, whatnot, that had been created for every specific topic.
Wow.
So there was a massive sensory explosion before mine, a massive one before Tal's. So mine evoked belonging. Worked with a perfumery, a sense person,
right,
to come up with all of the sense, SCENTS.
That's right. Yeah, the sense. Yeah.
Paul's was to evoke happiness. It was a nice citrusy, mine had some cinnamon in it and some more like some notes of like cherry. Anyway, those two things, the music, the beats and senses were highlights. And I've never been in a conference like that. I've never had an experience like that it really, when you go and speak to someone or speak to a crowd and there's a sensory overload. And I mean that just, I loved it. I loved every minute of it.
Oh, that's fantastic. Now, I was just speaking to a couple of people from the UK who went there, and just so you know, I mean, they specifically said, I said, why did you end up going? Why did you want to go? And of course, they support Jim, but they said, we came here to hear Claude Silver speak.
Oh.
That's literally what they outright said, that that's the reason they wanted to go there. That must make you feel, I wonder how that makes you feel. I mean, that's I'm just thinking, here's a person, that, I know your humility level is just off the charts, but I mean, these are people from all different parts of the world that show up and go, I really like you and I love what you, and you're thinking, wow, I affect people all over the world. That must be a very humbling feeling, is it not?
Yeah. I mean, if you could see, my eyes are watering right now because it's overwhelming, and I can't believe, like, little Claude would never believe that. And I'm just, incredibly grateful to just be part of this movement of bringing more belonging and changing the workplace, making it okay for people to really be themselves and bring their fullness and their full voice into the workplace without feeling that they don't belong or they're othered or they'll be bullied or anything like that. So it's a thank you. That really, really touched me. And thank you to the person that said that.
Yeah, these are beautiful people. I'll mention to you right now because they might be just still there. Isabel is a person that's there, and Claire. Claire. Both of those two beautiful ladies are with Jim. And
I'm looking at them.
There they are. They said specifically Claude, and they didn't know. I didn't tell them anything about me and you knowing each other or anything. They didn't know me or anything. I didn't even say your name, nothing. They brought it up. So tell me again, I know it's overwhelming. You're speaking all day. There's a lot of emotion there. No doubt about it. No more than my FOMO, just so you know. It's at the all-time highest level it's ever been in my life right now. Believe me, I should have been there to see you, but I'm going to take a rain check and make sure I get to New York, and that will be my excuse to come and see you somehow, some way.
Yeah.
Tell me, what are you walking away with? Because I know that you go and give. So you're a giver. That's what you do. You barely think of receiving, that's for sure. But try to share with me a couple things that you're going to be taking away from this event right now.
Yeah, I would say the biggest one is a full heart. Like that to say is I'm overwhelmed with that feeling right now, and how much like just pure happiness there was in the room today, and in the when you walked around the halls and whatnot. So I'm taking that away for sure. I'm definitely putting that into my pocket.
Yes.
And then I'm putting into my pocket the one of the things Paul was mentioning, that givers are high performers, but givers are only high performers if they know how to give back to themselves. And that's a huge one for those of us that are empaths. That we have to give back to ourselves. And then I'm going to take away the fact this was so well organized, and that's more like logistical, but working with Jim and Asha and Gina for the last 2 years, more than 18 months, has been nothing but like the energy that lights me up. Take.
Oh, that's amazing. I lost some of that, but I heard the majority of that. I apologize. It's we're on a WhatsApp app, but I heard everything you said. I feel the emotion in there as well, because like you said, there's a great team there that brought this together, and kudos to you though for sticking with it too. I mean, a lot of times, obviously when it doesn't work out for the first time, people's lives go in different directions, but you kept your commitment to going there, and I applaud you for that. I applaud you for that so much. I know that's again, all of this is for you, this empath that you just said. I wanted to share that with you, is that, boy, that just hit me, and I bet you that struck you like a ton of bricks, where this idea of giving all the time, and you feel great about it, but you end up never giving back to yourself, and it shows up in all kinds of different ways, whether mentally or physically. Can you relate? Does that make sense to you?
Yeah. Big time. And I see that. I see that every day with people who are just like me, who haven't found a way to fill their cup or at least replenish something. You know, I was one of those people too. So figuring out like how to stop and smell the roses, or go out for a walk, or breathe, or call your friend, or text someone, I love you. Like, those are little things, but they go so far and they fill your cup up.
Yeah, they sure do. They sure do. How's your family, by the way? I want to ask always, your beautiful partner, and you know, all the little ones, everything that's running around in this world that has to do with you.
So good. Oh my gosh, Peter, they're so delicious. They're so yummy.
Oh, that is a.
Yeah, I can't wait for you to meet them. And you're going to come to New York, but we're going to speak on the phone like in a week.
Yeah. Well, hey, yeah, we've been chatting. It's okay. Yeah, listen. I know your schedule. It's okay. It's back and forth. It's okay. We're going to do that. I appreciate that. Yeah, let's do that, because I think, as you can see, just you being there, you already know the next step, and you already feel it. And I know that's probably, I'm going to guess that's part of maybe the overwhelm sometimes you feel. Would that be a fair statement? And we can keep it, you know, in cloak and dagger what we're talking about here. But I think you know that you are ready to do something pretty. You are doing something, but you're going somewhere else, I think, on this earth, and you feel it, don't you?
Yeah, we're ready. I mean, I have the confirmation I need inside and outside, and let's go. I mean, let's go. What are we doing here, right?
Yes.
We're manifesting great change and taking action on it. And this is a huge part of it. Like, the revolution is happening. The revolution of we. It's here. So I'm on the bus. As a matter of fact, I'm driving the bus.
I was just going to say, I'm pretty sure that you're pretty sure that you got you're in there as scheduled driver. I'm pretty sure that you're in there. There's no doubt about that.
But got to raise the seat a little bit. I'm a little short.
Hey, this is just your stature in this world. Are you kidding me? I mean, there's so much fun stuff coming for you. And listen, as I told you, I'm committed to be part of it with you. And I hope that that's an opportunity. We'll talk with that. So let me ask you this finally here. I know that you've been speaking all day. Two things I need to ask you about the conference itself, the people involved. How is that first? I would literally, I don't know why I didn't show up there, by the way, Claude. I don't know why, but here's my point. To see you and 𝘂𝗂 actually meet for the first time must have been magical. Tell me about that experience, would you please?
Well, Jim is right here. He could tell you about it too, and then I'll tell you about it.
Yes.
Yeah, that's of course, Peter. Yeah, that's like kind of a soul connection. So that's like, for me, it's like it goes to the intuitive part.
Right.
Today I was touched by two people, and these are the people like who are not talking about themselves, who are just doing it for others, who are listening, who are like humble, and that's Iris and Claude, and these are for me the people who touched me. And that's also what 𝘂𝗏 is like, kind of promoting, like look at social media, look which posts are doing well and which posts are doing less. The rational way is not working anymore, and for me, like Iris, she got a standing ovation. People were asking me in so some months before the conference, what is she doing on that conference? She came on high heels. She took off her high heels, and then she played on barefoot.
And everyone was crying.
Yeah, and everybody was crying in the audience. And then that's the difference. So,
wow.
you choose for like convince, and you keep doing it. And the moment that you like, there's like one small thing in between, or even like if you lie once, you're out. Now, what is Claude and what is Iris doing? They are just hitting one arrow, and that's the heart.
Wow.
And you just have to hit it once. Mm-hmm. And that is what like they are doing. And it's not it's just how they are. It's not a strategy. It's how they are. And that is, it's amazing to see. Like, I try to promote like now Iris to CEOs. So I took her. Iris, she doesn't like the sales thing. So I take her to CEOs and I tell to the CEOs, now, you want to be a role model in Belgium? Take her. Take her to your employees. Take her into your company. Be a role model and take that vulnerability in your company and to your customers. And that is changing the world. And the people who are here today, they are like all change-minded. You don't have to convince them. They were all from the first moment into the philosophy of just like, we are ready.
Right.
And then it's great to see like the heart. For me today, the central thing was like, even in the rational, the rather rational keynotes or the scientific keynotes, it was all about belonging, connecting people. And that's it.
Yeah, I hear that. I can sense it in everything that you're talking about here. I can sense the idea that, again, what's fascinating about when you talk about the idea of what Claude's doing and what Iris is doing. It's interesting because Iris, like I said, has music, which is a very, very powerful medium, obviously to share heartfelt, that spirit of connectedness. What I'm fascinated with Claude is Claude does it just literally just by being there. Like she doesn't play an instrument. She doesn't promote herself. She just literally speaks and you feel it. Was that the experience you had? Yeah.
Yeah, but for me, when I see Gary V, when I see Claude, it's the same. Like, okay, sometimes I get like kind of nervous of like the energy of Gary, and then I think like, damn, Claude must be suffering there with that mad guy. But it's like it's one family, and that was today for me like the conclusion. Like it was one family in the end, and when you can bring them like role models as Claude, as like. She's really living it. Yeah, it's difficult to explain, but yeah, it's just, yeah, she is, yeah.
No, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. So that moment with Asha, which she's not within your arm's reach there, is she? Is Asha within your arm's reach? I would love to ask if she's willing to come on just for a second. I'd appreciate just saying hello and congratulating her as well.
She's in yeah. Asha. She's there. Here she is.
Hello, Peter.
Asha, how are you?
Oh, we are so good. Thank you.
Oh, I know you're so good. I know you're like, I can't even imagine it's going to take a few weeks for you to kind of come back. You're going to have to come to Earth. You got to come back, right? You have to come back to Earth eventually. I don't know when, but
yeah, if you're coming to Antwerp, we will be here.
There you go. Let me ask you that question. I mean, I know how important it was for you to connect with Claude, but even before I ask you that question, let me ask you this. You've been working on this for a long time, and here it is. I'm going to guess that it was everything you dreamed of, maybe a little more. Is that how it played out today for you?
Absolutely. It was so wonderful. The energy was wonderful. So many beautiful people, and well, speakers are people too, right? So
indeed,
the venue was wonderful. The food, the drinks, like it was like, to be honest, like last week, I thought, are we really going to do this? And this morning, I thought, maybe everyone will cancel and we will be there and there will be no one in the room. Right? So,
right. It's like a dream. It's like a dream, right? You're thinking, yeah.
Exactly. So I was under the shower and I thought, oh, what if people are just late because of traffic and appointments and no one will be there? What are we going to do?
Oh, well.
And then the moment I came in, like, yeah, the venue was full, lights were on, everyone was at work, and it was like a machine. It was like really like a machine, like running so smooth. It was, yeah. Just amazing.
That's beautiful. Well, listen, I'm so happy for you. I really am. I know how much part of your soul that goes into this and so on. Please share if you can. I know it's hard to explain emotions, that's for sure. What was it like for you and Claude to connect for the first time?
connection. I really feel connection. And yeah, meeting her, it's just, I feel like so humble, really, to be honest.
Yes.
Really humble to be here, and like it is really like a dream. Like yesterday, we had dinner with together with Bart, who is a wonderful friend of Claude, and we were having dinner, and I was like, look at us, and it was like old friends meeting each other. So yeah, it's really amazing, and it started with you, Peter. It's I will not forget this. Like, it started with you, that phone call, that moment on your show, and look where we are today. So thank you so much for that moment. It really changed a lot of life.
Oh, well, that's very kind of you to say. Thank you. No, it was your moment, and listen, I listen. Thank you for saying that, and it was a pure pleasure to do that. That is for sure, because I know that, again, you had this connection with her, and the universe spoke to me, so I had to listen. That's for sure. I had to listen to what it was saying. Let's throw. I know this at the end of the day, and you want to spend more time with people there, and I will let you do that. Please do that. But let's do a shout out to why people need to come here again. What would we say to people that have been sitting on the fence for next time? Why do you want to come to this conference for the next time?
Why do you want to come? Well,
let's recommend why you want to tell somebody to make sure they're there, because I can hear it in your voice. I mean, obviously it literally changes you, doesn't it?
I don't feel like, oh, you have to come because this or that. No, just come and just be with us and be in the presence of so many beautiful people and the beautiful energy, and you will feel so inspired. So it's not only consuming information. No, it's really experiencing it in so many different levels, and you will feel inspired, but also activated to go out and do the work, right? So, and now you have a tribe. You have a group of people who are really doing this, and you can reach out to him, ask for support, and you don't feel alone. Doing this, and especially doing the happiness at work in organization, can also be very challenging. Well, now you met like 1,000 people who are on the same mission.
Right.
Find a body. Find a body.
That's right. And it goes beyond work. That's the other theme I've been hearing as well. Absolutely. It goes far beyond work. I mean, Tal even just mentioned it in chatting with him. He said this, we do this with our kids. We bring it home to our family. This idea that it's happiness at work is just one part of the conversation, but again, being in that environment just involves the whole person. And in this particular case, we're just referring to the work part, but obviously it's a whole way of being is what the theme seems to be.
And let me share a quick story with an organization I worked for.
Please.
So I went into the organization. We did a Happiness at Work program, which was fantastic, and the CEO was also joining us. And I think maybe like the 5th session or something. So I only do year programs, so I don't do workshops and so on. Only year programs, 2-year programs or longer. And the CEO was joining, and during the 5th session, he came to me and he said, "Asha, your program is not about happiness at work. It's not about all the benefits, like getting more innovative and creative and so on. You are doing really something different." And I said, "Why? Well, why are you saying this?" And he said, "You help me to become a beautiful human." And I think that's it. When we become fully human, then we will be more resilient, have more resilience, then we will be more productive, then we will be more creative, and so on. It's all about becoming fully human, like fully human, and that's the journey. That's the journey, and happiness at work is a small part of that journey.
That is just what a beautiful thing for someone to say to you.
Yes,
the-
it's interesting because when you come into an organization, you have to do like the presentation, the pitch, and so on. And they all ask, what are the benefits of happiness? Well, I can share the benefits of happiness. I know what the benefits of happiness are. We can all do research and find research, and they will explain exactly what the benefits are. And I shared it. And then I added something. I told them, these are the benefits. But to be honest, I'm doing this now for 24 years. I've never done this in any organization. Never increased creativity with like, let's say, 15% and so on. And he looked at me and he said, we had different organizations to give a presentation. They all share the benefits of happiness. And no one said, I never did it before. Like I never really reached the numbers that science is telling us.
right.
But you are telling you never reach the numbers. And that's why we trust you. So you go.
Wow.
And that moment, I felt like really strong to say, okay, maybe I will do it if you join. And then he said, okay, I will join. And then during the program, he said, it's really not about the benefits of happiness. It's really, if you go to my LinkedIn page, it's all about becoming who you were meant to be. That's fully human.
Right. I listen. Well, first of all, I love your LinkedIn page because you lead without titles. You don't even, you don't even put titles up and so on. I just wanted to touch back though, and appreciate you sharing that. But what that person said to you, they are really just referring to what they see, and you're just a mirror to them. So obviously, you have done the work, and you have brought yourself to another level, if you will, and that person just recognized it. Does that resonate with you?
Yes and no, because yes, I did a lot of work, but I'm still doing it. It's like, it's an ongoing journey. And I always say, just walk it with humility because it's an ongoing journey. You don't need to rush. You don't need to stress out. It's an ongoing journey. Just walk it step by step.
Yeah.
That's it.
Again, it's humbly said, but I know that I know the work that you do, so I know that you put a lot into that, and that just means that the rest of us get to benefit from that, because again, as people put out goodness in the world, and obviously it's a reflection of maybe seeing ourselves in that as well. We can all get better by that. So you've done. Listen, I love your heart. I love your spirit. I love the fact that you had a chance to meet Claude. I'm so happy for you. I
will send you the pictures.
I cannot wait to see that. I'm telling you right now, the FOMO that I'm experiencing, I'm pretty good with FOMO. I can normally, missing out on stuff, I can kind of get through it pretty good. But today, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm at the highest peak of FOMO I've ever experienced in my life right now. So
thank you for all that you're doing, taking the time to have a conversation with us. And yeah, we really miss you. We yesterday we were talking. It's the circle is round. Having you now on the phone, and that's good.
No, I appreciate it so much. I really do. And I thank you for everything you're doing over there. And hey, 2023 is coming. So I know already where I'm going to be. So I'm looking forward to the next one that and I know, again, I recommend to everybody to reach out to you on LinkedIn and these kinds of things to get connected. So that's what we're going to do. I think I might have just lost everybody here, but that's Asha. She's just a beautiful spirit, a beautiful soul, and she is she's been part of the Happiness at Work conference. Basically the board and working with Jim to get this event going for several years now, a few years now, And so it was a really big moment for her to reach and meet Claude Silver, which is fantastic. I mean, how do you go wrong with that? I'm going to see if they're going to call me back here. This is the amazing technology that we have all lined up. Let's just see if he can get back to me. If he does, that'd be great. If he doesn't, it's okay. Everybody, thank you for so much for everybody who's been here. Let's just put up some of these beautiful comments. I mean, people are still sticking around and hanging in there. I appreciate that very much. Let's see if we can open this up a little bit. There we are, everybody. Yeah, we had Asha on the line and Jim was on the line live. They're over in Belgium right now. They're in Antwerp. That's where they are right now, and they're finishing up the day at the happiness conference, the Happiness at Work conference. It was, here it is at Queen Elizabeth Hall, Antwerp, Belgium. That's what we're talking about. And just an amazing lineup of speakers that they had there. And few of them have been on the show, and really excited for that as well. It looks like maybe their phone has run out, something like that. That is probably the case because mine's almost run out as well. It's been great. Hey, I want to put up all of the comments. Thank you so much for everyone who's being here. Really appreciate seeing you. Karen, there you go. We have a little conversation in there for Anti-Fragile to talk with Tal. So hopefully I'll get a chance to talk with Tal in the future as well. Stefan, good to see you, my friend. Yeah, peace of mind. Going in the world. Nature is my happy place. Hey, that's a good friend of mine is Suzanne Heaton at Motivated by Nature. So Stefan, you can check her out as well. All about finding your happy place in the great outdoors. And great to see Dr. Rhonda. Good to see you. I appreciate you being here. Happiness is certainly very subjective. It's more about what I do every day intentionally to live a life that feels worthy of showing up for. Absolutely. Yeah, it looks very different at different stages during our lifetime. And that's very true. I mean, we're all obviously going through different things. We don't know what everyone's journey is. And I mean, that's probably the story, if anything at all. Stefan, yeah, I saw your great post about being at the 𝗖𝗵𝗄 Pride celebration. And you came across as somebody that you met and you appreciated so much. Each person was so appreciative of my gifts. That was heartwarming. Absolutely. Taking pictures of beautiful faces and offering to people. That's beautiful, Stefan. Fantastic work, by the way. And I saw your post on that. I super appreciate that. Good to see Tim. Thanks, Tim. Tim was tuning in while waiting in the groceries. I appreciate that. Hey, you got to go get groceries. Probably had to go get a mortgage to get those groceries, by the way. The prices have gone up so much for everything. And yes, she is. She is amazing. Absolutely. So appreciate chatting with her. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, it is a beautiful event. I know. Again, I should have worked a little harder to get over there. It was something now on my bucket list to go over and experience that, especially with people like Asha and Jim and Claude and Tal and so on, and everybody was there. Super appreciate that. Here, I'll put up another one. Happiness is very much a psychological and physiological state of being impacted by our lifestyles, absolutely, and belief systems that change our DNA and every cell of our being and how we think, feel, act, or show up in all types of relationships. That is so true, Dr. Rhonda. I mean, that is so very true. I know that for me, I get it from Tony Robbins, this phrase, and I'm not sure who's accredited to it, but motion creates emotion. So for me, I notice that if I'm not feeling well, emotionally, physicality helps me a lot. So I always find that that's a really, really powerful thing, is to be moving and so on. So like you said, it makes a big difference here and so on. Good to see Danielle Alabrand. I can't believe I didn't get a chance to meet you as well. Small changes make a big difference. Thank you for your wonderful talk today. For Tal, absolutely. So many helpful insights. Yes, I can see that. Absolutely. And it always starts with being kind. That is correct. Daniel, appreciate that. Let's see here. Where else do we have? Let's see. LinkedIn user. I'm hoping that's my beautiful spouse. Probably that's who it is. I don't know why it comes up as your LinkedIn user. Growing from our experiences, this allows us not only to integrate our experiences, but to gain insight and awareness, detect what this experience means to us. Absolutely. So super cool. And yeah, there you go. Born and bred New Yorker. Stefan, I didn't know that. I did not know that. When you come, we'll show you the most wonderful. I know, I cannot believe, of all the places I've traveled, and I can't say I've been everywhere in the world, but I've certainly been around the globe a little bit, whether it's in Australia or Southeast Asia or all kinds of different places in the world, in Europe and so on. Even I went to Rwanda and in Africa. Never to New York City. Of all the places I've never been. I mean, I got to go to New York City. I mean, I just got to go to New York City. So, hey, Stefan, if I get to New York City, which I plan to do, I got to go down and share a rosé with Claude one day. So we're going to do that. And so yeah, we'll get down there. So Claude, everything that you're about, so wonderful to listen to. Would love to have lunch one day this summer. There you go. Hey, a shout out for a lunchtime. There you go. Hey, well, save that lunch date. Save that lunch date, and I'll make a get on a plane and get down there if I can. That's for sure. So absolutely, I totally agree. It'd be so worthwhile. There you have it, everybody. I think Jim and those guys, they ran out of gas. It's late over there. They are still finalizing the Happiness at Work conference over in Antwerp, Belgium, which was today. So if you're watching this on replay, today they hosted it June 28th, 2022. And it's been a long time coming, simply because of the last 2 years has disrupted travel and disrupted gathering, and it's been very difficult to put on in-person conferences. And today was their big day. So I'm really, really excited for Jim Lippens and his team, 𝗂𝗂 𝗚𝗂𝗿, being part of that group and so on, and Gina for the beautiful music that she created, and all the beautiful speakers that were there. Just an amazing group of people. So again, this is just a simple raising of all the boats for me. A plug for them. I am excited for them. I hope it continues with great success in the future, bringing people together with talking about happiness and happiness at work. But as Tal mentioned, it's a lifestyle. It's all about bringing it home, making it a full part of you as a full human being. So lots more to it than just talking about being happy at work. It's about being happy in general. How about that? And life itself, and just becoming a fully developed human being who's having a great experience here on this earth. So hope that resonates with you. Gosh, it's been an amazing a day here. I didn't think we'd pull it off just because we were going to be on the phone, but it was quite enjoyable to have them on the phone. I hope this brought some value to you today. Think about what happiness means to you. That came up a little bit in the conversation today, speaking to people from the event. Happiness is one of those words it's obviously used a lot, and we all sort of known what that word is or have experienced it our whole lives. But I think it's taken on more of a spiritual place in our hearts these days. And there's a connection point between, as Tal talks about, the heart and the brain. And then, of course, we're bringing it into our lives, meaning we're bringing it to the workplace. So if you're bringing it happiness at work, you're bringing it at home, you're connecting that 13 inches between, generally speaking, they say it's the distance between your brain and your heart. Longest journey you'll ever have is that between your brain and your heart. So this is a conference as an example of how you can bring people together and have those conversations. And as Asha suggested, if you feel like you're alone on this journey, sometimes going to these events reminds you that there's literally millions of people around the world that are just trying to figure it out as well. So going to an event like that, you have 1,000 new friends that you can connect with and talk about happiness and the journey of finding it, that's for sure, or developing it. Here's the conversation itself. Hey, if you're in the comments, if you're still here and you're reading it, I'll leave you with that question, because I think it was interesting to hear one of the attendees talk about happiness and what it means to them. And they were kind of saying, well, I'm not sure what happiness means to me, or they defined it for themselves. So I think there you go. What does happiness mean to you? Maybe you can share with us, because we're all trying to figure it out. I'm asking for a friend right here. Asking for a friend. What does it mean to you? So feel free to put those in the comments. We'd appreciate hearing from it. Jim Lippens, thank you for joining us and tuning us in backstage. Thank you, Claude. Thank you, Tal. Thank you, Asha. We had a couple of people from London, UK, who were there, attendees, Isabel, and the other lady, Claire. Claire was the other lady, beautiful soul, who came on and expressed why they decided to go. And of course, they went to see Claude Silver. Not surprised at all to know that. And what a beautiful event that they were able to pull off over in Belgium today. So, hey, we'll do this another time, everybody. That's what we were talking about today, Happiness at Work Conference. You can learn more about it for the upcoming next year. You can look at happiness-conference.world, and you can learn a little bit more about what the conference is and the type of speakers and the people involved. And you reach out to Jim and Asha and everyone involved so that you can start planning now, because I think it'll be a beautiful time. Next year is even going to be just as exciting and as exciting as it was this year, where people get together and we get together and do things. So hopefully that'll work out for all of us in the near future. Thank you, everybody. Super appreciate you being here. It was just a different type of show today, but we had a lot of fun. So I always enjoy knowing that you were there and supporting and watching Red TV, and it is so much appreciated. Please share with your network if you liking what you see and hear. Please share it with your network. I would really appreciate that. Wow, that was it. I'm excited that we were able to get everybody on there. So thank you for joining me. Everybody in the comments, I'm going to reach out to each and every single one of you, and thank you for tuning in and for your comments. Please reach out to some of the speakers that you heard today or some of the people that were on the call. Reach out to them and connect on LinkedIn or other places on social media. Some beautiful souls out there, and just a great way to keep networking and building your own community. That's what it's all about. Okay, so hey, you know how this all works around here, everybody. You just be kind out there. That's all you have to do. Just be kind. Just be kind out there. I don't think that's a whole bunch to ask for everybody. I think it's just a good way to be, everybody. So be kind out there if you can. Okay, we'll see you next time. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. We'll see you. Let's just be kind out there. Let's be kind. Be kind out there. Just be kind out there. Just be kind out there, everybody. Be kind out there. Be kind out there. Be kind out there, everyone. Be kind. As I always say to everybody, hey, just be kind out there. Let's just be kind out there. Be kind out there, everyone. Be kind out there. Just be kind out there, everybody. Just be kind. Just be kind out there. Just be kind. Be kind. Just be kind out there. Just be kind out there, everybody. Just be kind. Be kind out there, everyone. Be kind out there. Just be kind out there, everyone. Just be kind. That's all you have to do. Just be kind out there. Always end the show like this. Just be kind, everybody. Just be kind out there.